Hey everyone, Carter D. Conman. Time for another hobby toku and hobby sport and anime video. And today we're going to talk about an anime that I love, and now that the creator Yu-Gi-Oh! Died a year ago, let's talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Yes, my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. And just to know, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Was originally a death game, but that's another story. But the point is, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. The sequel that people forget ties into the original a lot as like a Academy sequel that really is great. Okay, let's begin. Basically, I'm for this video, I'm just doing every archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I'm gonna might do it for other entries if you don't mind. But for now, let's just do GX. Okay, let's begin. First off, let's start with our main character, Jaden's archetype, which is basically the elemental heroes. And this is all anime stuff. I might do manga as a separate video, but for now, let's just do the anime. Got it? Good, let's begin. Elemental Hero is Jaden's main archetype for the series. Basically, Elemental Heroes are all superhero based and basically based on American style, which and Japanese a little, but that's really mostly for Neo-Spacians, which we will explain later in the video. Got it? Good. Next up is Ancient Gear Golem. Ancient Gear Golem is basically part of the Ancient Gear archetype. This archetype was used by Crawler in the series as his main archetype and our main teacher who is a douchebag. Okay, good. Chaz's archetypes are really like Ojamas and Armor Dragon, but or at the start of the show, basically Chaz being our douche, basically his archetype is XYZ Dragon Cannon rebooted, which has like the other two V and W added for the final combination. But anyhow, that's kind of great. Next up is freaking Cyrus with his deck being basically a wait, we have to do Alexis, yeah, the main girl. Basically, Alexis's archetype is Cyber Angel, being one of the few archetypes that is and isn't a real card type archetype in the show in actual print releases. So kind of niche, kind of weird. Next up is freaking Bastion, which really his archetype is water dragons, that formula dragons, which is kind of weird having 2 of 6 different ones, 2 in the anime, which I don't remember the other one, but I count the same thing. But anyhow, points that now for Cyrus. Cyrus is Jaden's best friend and friend. His archetype is basically based on roids, like all different vehicles that are SD via cartoonish vehicles. Basically, this archetype is mostly just to know all the archetypes are fusion for most of the of these archetypes or normal because this is before synchros were added in 5Ds. But anyhow, they're all fusions, just to know. Basically, next up is next main character Zane, Cyrus's brother, who's his archetype gimmick is basically using Cyber Dragon and Cyber Dark Dragon later in season 2. But anyhow, the point is this archetype is all dragons that are machines. But anyhow, that's kind of bad for Kaiba. Kaiba. Next up is a few other characters, which I'm only doing main characters. So yeah, like basically Red Dragon, like Black Eyes Red Dragon user who's uh, uh, you know, his per brother, Alexis' brother. Basically, he is kind of a great character, not great of a character, but his archetype is great. Good. Next up is season 2. We're now reaching season 2, but before that, we have one character to talk about. Chumpley with his koala deck, which I'm not sure if it's the actual thing, but anyhow, time for season 2. Note this video is only going to talk about season 1 and 2 and 3, but not season 4 because that's original stuff only in Japan, but I'm sorry I'm doing 4 Kids Logic, sorry. Next up is Aster Phoenix's deck. Aster Phoenix is our main rival's ally of Destiny, and that his deck is Destiny Heroes, plus a light deck later in the first episode, but that was just a fake out joke for promoting a structure deck. But anyhow, his main deck is Destiny Hero. Basically, this grade is great. Now let's talk about Neospatians, which are basically animal superheroes based on different elements of the planets. Basically, with their main hero being elemental hero Neos, which is Jaden's signature monster. And this takes the longest of any other Yu-Gi-Oh series to introduce the signature monster. Just to know as a fun fact. That's kind of weird. And it's really the only other main character. There are two other characters for season 2 being Sergeant Hustleberry with his dinosaur deck, Jurassic deck, which is kind of great, but awesome. Next, and also our main villain of the season that uses the tarot card deck. I forgot his name, but leave a comment down below what it is. If you don't remember it, sorry. Next up is the Gems. Crystal Beast from season 3, used by Jesse. Jesse is really the show's best friend who will get punched in the bag as like a weird added character in season 3. Kind of great. His deck is great, where the main gimmick of Crystal Beast is when they're destroyed, they go in trap battle and trap card zone. Kind of a weird gimmick, but kind of great. Next up is the Fossil Guys deck, dinosaur deck. This Raptor deck is basically used. Fossil Fusion is now a popular card type in the card game now because a few years ago they turned it into a real card, so we can talk about it, okay? And he's kind of a supporting character, great. Next up is the Cloudy guy who uses Exodia deck later on for season 3. He gets sent to the stars, which is just the new Shadow Realm for the later episodes, just because they didn't want to do the famous, "You're going to the Shadow Realm." No! Much better! Sorry, that was a meme. Get that meme? Okay, good. Basically, the Shadow deck, basically that deck is Zodia being the most powerful original series deck. A powerful version of Zodia, which I won't explain, but anyhow, the point is the other deck is characters are basically supporting now, which are basically the fire user. The fire deck user uses volcanic cards. That's kind of great of a character. Now let's talk about some Ojamas, because Ojamas are basically a weak deck, but mostly used for Chad. But anyhow, the next and our last new character before I get to old stuff is basically Yubel, our main villain for season 3, who becomes good at the end, but really kind of weird because in Japan she was a guy voice, even if I never realized that until a few months ago. But really, yes, Yubel is voiced by a guy in Japan, but in the dub she's a woman. Yeah, so it's not gay. It's kind of like a weird gay, really couple relationship that's sort of gay in Japan. Just to know, it's fun. Like, her deck is basically evil deck card of other cards like Dark Crystal Beast towards the end of the series, original series. That's great. Plus also Cyber Dark Dragon being great, and also Evil Hero, Jaden's archetype, who for his Supreme King arc. Basically, when he becomes evil and basically becomes good again after that arc. Kind of great. But anyhow, the archetypes we're not going to explain a lot are basically the Angel archetype and the Dark Villain archetype, which are both structure deck use. A lot of GX cards got early structure deck promotion. Like we got a Vampire deck, some Pharaoh cards, a few others by the Shadow Riders users with different archetypes. I won't over explain, but one of the more important ones that I forgot that was important, okay, is the Sacred Beast, which are our God cards of the series. Yes, these are one of the better versions than the God cards from original Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically, their gimmick is you need to tribute 3 of each card type for one member. Like one is trapped, one is spell, and one for summoning, and the creature summoning one is Obelisk. I think the trap one is Slifer, and the spell one is Rob. But anyhow, I love original Yu-Gi-Oh! God cards, which we will explain in another video. And that's it for this video for now, because really there's not a lot of other archetypes that I can say for this. This is just a basic primer for all the archetypes from the anime. So yeah, so that's it. This is Gomen saying bye-bye, and hope you have a great video, and thank you for the creator Yu-Gi-Oh! Tadashi Tadashi for dying a year ago, and I'm sorry. We still mourn you. Thank you. Peace. This Gomen saying bye-bye for now. Hope you liked the video. Leave a comment down below if you like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX over original like me. This Gomen saying bye-bye for now.